Profiles in Cinemania. Don't Call Her a Scream Queen. The Amazing Career of Barbara Crampton. Barbara Crampton may have starred in more horror and sci-fi films than you could count between 1985 and 2025, but don't call her a scream queen. From the start, she has played intelligent, complex roles that are much deeper than the just another dumb blonde tropes into which Hollywood has tended to shoehorn women like her. For example, in From Beyond, Crampton played a young genius of a psychologist striving to find a cure for schizophrenia. It's her character's thirst to advance the boundaries of human knowledge that drives her choices, not mere blonde ditziness. We here at the Cinemania Society relish debunking misogynistic myths, especially about blondes. You can check out my profile on Sharon Stone for more. Born in Levittown, New York, and raised in Vermont, Barbara Crampton may have grown up far from Hollywood, but showbiz was in her blood, you might say. Her father worked in carnivals. Yes, he was a carny. She traveled with him often during school summer breaks. Her interest in theater started early. She started with school plays during 7th grade and continued through high school. She received her BA in theater arts from Castleton State College. Originally, Crampton thought she would end up on Broadway, and she did have a role after college as Cordelia in King Lear for the American Theater of Actors production. But Hollywood was calling, and she moved to Los Angeles in the early 80s, where she made her television debut. Ironically, perhaps, for a horror actress, her first role when she arrived in Hollywood was as Trista Evans Bradford on the daytime drama Days of Our Lives in 1983. Funny fact, Crampton would come back to soap operas at many points throughout her career, gradually contributing to not only Days, but also Guiding Light, The Bold and the Beautiful, and The Young and the Restless, where she even won a Soap Opera Digest Award in 1996 for her scene-stealing portrayal of maniacal Leanna Love. She wasn't alone. Many well-known actors got their starts in soaps. The year after Crampton started on Days of Our Lives, she was cast in Brian De Palma's Body Double. It may have been a small role, but it made a big impression. The year after that, Crampton starred in Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, which has become one of her most notable roles. Crampton's star turn in this famous horror flick kicked off a string of horror films that carried her through the 80s, including From Beyond, Chopping Mall, Pulse Pounders, Puppet Master, and Castle Freak, among others. In the 90s, she started branching out into more straight sci-fi with movies like Trancers 2, Robot Wars, and of course, 1996's Space Truckers, where she absolutely held her own opposite notorious scene stealers Dennis Hopper and Charles Dance. Barbara Crampton's turn as Dr. Catherine McMichaels in From Beyond was so notable that it earned her a Best Actress nomination at the Saturn Awards in 1986. She worked extensively in both film and television throughout the 80s and 90s, but the fast pace of productions made it difficult for Crampton to find love. A brief marriage in 1988 to cinematographer David Boyd ended in 1990, but it was in the late 90s that she met her lasting love, set dresser Robert Bob Bleckman, whom she married in 2000. They had 2 kids, Olivia and Luke, a few years later. Becoming a mother didn't mean Barbara Crampton was done with acting, not by a long shot. Like so many of her characters, Crampton took her career seriously. For roughly a decade following the birth of her children, she had a very limited filmography. By very limited, we mean she pulled back from soaps and only acted in 5 feature films and 2 different television series. In 2011, Crampton was back with a vengeance, beginning with Adam Wingard's You're Next. This movie was a complete return to form for her, proving she had only gotten better with time. As one Redditor phrased it,
arguably more than any other horror actress, Barbara Crampton has aged not only with grace, but has done some of her best work in her more mature age.
And Crampton agrees that her roles since 2011 have had a lot of depth to them. In a 2016 interview with Birth Movies Death, she said, "I've been offered some fantastic roles in this second round of my career since coming back with You're Next in 2011. A heavy-hearted mother mourning the loss of a son, a sadistic and non-self-reflective caretaker, an American woman hiding a deadly secret living in France, a VCR board game host, a reverend mother, and more to come." Numerous recognitions of these excellent dramatic performances have followed. In 2015, she was nominated for the Fangoria Chainsaw Award for Best Actress for We Are Still Here. In 2018, she won the Independent Horror Movie Award for Best Actress for Reborn. Other highlights of her return to horror include The Lords of Salem in 2012 and Beyond the Gates in 2016. The television reboot of Creepshow in 2021 saw another standout Crampton performance, and that same year she was nominated for 2 separate acting awards for her performance in the film Jacob's Wife. Without a doubt, she has stretched far beyond the bubble-brained co-ed roles that are still so common even today for women acting in the horror genre. And the world has recognized this huge achievement. Crampton has received 5 Lifetime Achievement Awards at festivals around the world for her contributions to the horror genre, including one at Morbido in Mexico City and at the prestigious Sitges Festival just outside of Barcelona, Spain. Since 2015, Barbara Crampton has expanded her work beyond acting roles. She first donned her producer's hat in 2015 with Road Games, and then in 2016 with Beyond the Gates, where she both acted and produced. Her very well-received film Jacob's Wife was another movie she simultaneously produced and starred in. Over the last decade, Crampton has switched from acting and producing to solely producing. These include the 2020 reboot of Castle Freak and 2022's Glorious. As of 2024, Crampton has expanded from producing movies to producing podcasts as well, with a series called Scream Dreams. Speaking of podcasts, before there were podcasts, there were magazine columns, and Barbara Crampton actually has her own column in Fangoria magazine called Scene Queen, a play on the nickname Scream Queen, which Crampton detests. She has won 2 Rondo Hatton Horror Awards for Scene Queen in 2020 and 2021. Additionally, Crampton is very active on social media and is just very generally kind to her fans. And if they occasionally still call her a Scream Queen, she will very politely tell them she prefers not to be labeled that way. She explained her reasoning in a 2016 interview with Birth Movies Death. For me, I prefer not to be labeled, boxed, pigeonholed, or reduced to a term that I consider passé and antiquated, limiting, and yes, crass. Indeed, for an actress of her talents, we would never want to box her in. Unless perhaps it's inside a coffin as part of her next vampire horror film. This has been another Profile in Cinemania. This episode was written and performed by Andrea Palladino. Music by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio.